Meanwhile, NEDA Chief Arsenio Balisacan is optimistic about the future of the proposed Bangsamoro region. More details from Freddie Abando.
The decommissioning of 145 combatants from the MILF and their turnover of 55 high-powered firearms paves the path towards peace to reign in a region of the country that has been exposed to conflict for over 4 decades. Thanks to the President's commitment to win the peace and cement a legacy started by his late mother, former President Corazon Aquino, in the late 90s. The first phase of the decommissioning offers fresh hopes for the combatants and their communities to start a normal life. 25,000 pesos plus a health card provides the goodwill to ensure it's fully completed. The exit agreement is signed by the government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. The President's Chief Economic Advisor, NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan, sees a great promise for the future Bangsamoro Autonomous Region to be created by the draft Bangsamoro Basic Law as a major growth center and its impact to sustained economic growth for the long term.
All we need is basic investments to put in place there, access to roads, so that farmers can bring their produce to the nearest markets. The human capital of the region is very low. Investment in education, in health, in social services has been very low, and the outcomes, particularly when you look at enrollment rate, health, maternal mortality, and so on. All these social indicators point to a very sorry state compared to the rest of the country. So clearly, even just from the point of view of humanitarian equity reason, have to massively invest in Bangsamoro. And the payoffs are likely to be high, especially in the medium term to long term.
The Bangsamoro entity to be created from the autonomous region of Muslim Mindanao contributes in significant numbers to the country's gross domestic product. Balisacan stressed peace will fuel growth that could hit double digits and register higher growth rates for the country in the long term. Balisacan said the 5 provinces of the core territories are blessed with all the natural resources for development. Maguindanao's rich agriculture will be a major rice and corn granary for Mindanao. The Liguazon Mars is natural gas deposits, plantations for palm oil. The same is true for Llano del Sur. The island provinces of Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi are rich fishing destinations, rubber and coconut plantations. Sulu is also rich in reserves to be discovered and developed.
The now arm, Bangsamoro, and Mindanao as a whole has so much potential, not only for agriculture but even for industry and services. And it can grow much faster than the rest of the country. Peace can rule them, and because at the moment ARM is quite a low, starting from a low base, because the size of the economy there is very small relative to other regions. Growing at double digit is not at all far-fetched in these areas. If you could, even just from agriculture, because this has so much potential for agricultural development. And in fact, in the Bangsamoro development plan that we have prepared, or we assisted in preparing for. We were expecting that in the initial years it can grow. The region could grow close to 10% a year.
Balisacan said it will take time for the Bangsamoro region to enjoy the fruits of peace. Balisacan sees the flow of foreign aid and investments. Initially, the surrounding regions will benefit from the dividends of peace. Balisacan cited the president's unwavering commitment to end a conflict that has divided the country for so long. After all, Muslims and Christians are all Filipinos united as one nation under one flag.
Our objective as a country is to unify the country by way of living standards. There should be no place in this country where one region has a much lower well-being than another region. And investment in equity is proven to be a very profitable investment in the medium term to long term, as in many countries around the world where countries invest in reducing the wide disparities in living in being, especially in social services, would pay off. We don't see this as necessarily a very costly experiment, but it's worth given the cost that the social cost anyway, and the economic cost that we have had already over the last so many decades now.
For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.